Hi everyone, it's time for my Stargirl review, Season 1, Episode 4. But I'm having to hold the microphone because last night when I was streaming, the thing snapped. So I'm having to hold it, but I'm pretending that I don't. I'm doing what the reporters do. They kind of like have it just there. It's not a particularly interesting way to start the video, but well, it's probably more interesting than half the things that happen in this Stargirl. Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface with my review of Stargirl Season 1 Episode 4, as we established in the introduction. Yes! Right! Last week's episode was a good episode, a very good episode for the most part, that was undone substantially by the last portion. And I said that Stargirl needed to take a big L, a big loss. And she did. She took an even bigger one than I anticipated. She was unable to prevent one of her schoolmates from being killed by icicle. And it seemingly humbled her and broke her down a bit, thinking that, oh no, she isn't all of that now that she's got the cosmic staff. And her father-in-law, he had to pick her back up again. Luke Wilson had to pick her back up again. And then right at the end of the episode, one of the things that he tried to show her was he took her to the headquarters of the JSA and was just like, these guys trained for years and years, and all of them together could not defeat the Injustice Society. And he was trying to tell her that she needed to walk before she could run. She needed to work out her stuff before she went headlong into the person who actually killed Starman. And so what does she do? She ignores all of his advice and then goes to the JSA headquarters during the middle of the night, steals all of the suits, and is just like, time to recruit some frenzies! Which ruined a lot of a very good episode last week. This episode is kind of infuriating. Not in a Batwoman way, not in a way that you're kind of getting really, really mad, but there is a distinct lack of common sense in this episode. There's some portions that I really like, and unfortunately the subplot is way more interesting than the main plot. The subplot involves Pat and Patricia, the wife of the magician and the son that was killed in the previous episode. And also his little building tinkering of his toys. And Courtney's main story was trying to recruit a new Wildcat. So it starts off well. I mean, a bit kind of stereotypical. We got the cutesy wootsy music. Boop boop ba doo ba doo boop boop ba doo. Everything is amazing. The sun is shining and I wake up and I got a smile on my face and my family is awesome. And I go downstairs and they hug me and they kiss me and they give me buttons because I'm really popular at school. And my brother's like, hey sis, I love you, which is not how things would be. I'd probably punch her in the face. And then this 58-year-old girl at school, look at her. She looks like 90. She's like Cruella. She's comically villain. He says, vote for Cindy here, and Yolanda's got to vote for Yolanda. So they're doing... I don't know how American schools work. They're going for something. They're up, for, I don't know, Queen of the Parade. I don't know. And she's dating the jock of the high school that doesn't have pink hair. Excuse me. Clearly singing isn't my fault. He doesn't have pink hair and a pink tight onesie and say that he's just got a safe space. So everything's going tickety-boo, right? Everything is stereotypically tickety-boo. But what was nice and interesting was seeing a different side of this character, because the only time we've seen Yolanda so far, she's just been a miserable cow. Every time Courtney tries to talk to her. She's just like, out of here. So we get to see a cheerful, happy, everything's going great. Everything's fantastic. Then she's at home and the boyfriend texts her. He goes, I love you, or I miss you. She's like, I miss you too. And she's all like, oh my God, I gotta just look like the bestest like boyfriend ever. And then he says, hey baby, send me a picture. Something sexy. Now, this is where I got a little bit, ooh. Because in the show, even though the actress is 21, in the show, Courtney's meant to be 15. So is this character in Courtney's year? And is she also meant to be 15? So it's all a bit, ooh, I don't know. But there again, when I was a kid, when I was 15 years old, we didn't have mobile phones. So we didn't have this kind of communication aspect, which is so readily available. But probably a little word of warning for parents. Don't give your kids phones. You know, maybe wait until they are of an age. So she's like, oh, her eyes look weird. She's like, okay. So she goes, hey, better stop it there. She goes into the bathroom and she takes the top off and she takes a bra off. You don't see anything, it's from here on in, but I was kind of like, you know, I'm sure the actress is like 21 like Courtney is, but it's kind of like, hey, awkward. This is really awkward. And she takes tit pic. She takes a tit pic. And she sends it to him, and she's like, yeah, I'm cool. So anyway, oh, spoilers. No, I'm joking. She goes to school the next day. Look, he's comically looking at his phone with a huge smile on his face. That guy there's going, fuck me, look at them titties! Look at them titties! And he's like, look at them titties! So it looks like he's showing the boys, his closest friends, the titty piggy. And then Cruella snatches the phone off him, but he snatches it back immediately. Because when she snatched it, it's like, oh no, she's going to snatch the phone, she's going to run off, and then she's going to do something with the picture, and that's why Yolanda's a miserable cow. But he snatches the phone back immediately. So I was like, oh, right, thank God. And he's not happy that she nicked it. And he's not, I mean, he shouldn't be showing it to his friends, right? Can we just establish that? If that is what he's doing, and it clearly looks like it, by the way, he's so defensive when she took the phone. He shouldn't be showing it to his friends. But it looks like it's kind of like the bro fraternity, and I'm not trying to excuse it. I just think in his own personal logic, it's just like, it's just me and my broskies, you know, and I'm just like, hey, type thing. Not excusing it. It was meant to be for you and you only, and that's how it should be and all that kind of stuff. But it shouldn't be because you're too young, but whatever! So, he was like pissed. So I was like, okay, good. Good. He's actually protective of it. So anyway, they then go into the gymnasium and they're giving their speeches about, I don't know, who wants to be whatever they do in America. This guy's like looking proudly on. And then Cruella like gets her phone out and then like sends a pic. And it's just like, how did she get it? How did she get the picture? It looked like the jock was showing his mates his own phone, but it wasn't implied in any way, shape or form that he was emailing them or you know, sending them SMS messages. So how did she get the picture? It doesn't make sense. You have to establish how she got the picture. So anyway, she got the picture and she has the mobile phone numbers of everybody in the room? How? How does she have the mobile phone numbers of everybody in the room? And she sends the picture to everybody and look at his face. He's not happy. He's not happy. This is not a person that has... And this is important that I establish this because they kind of drag him through the mud a little bit. But it's kind of... It is his fault in as much as he shouldn't have been showing his friends. But it doesn't look like it's his fault how the picture got out. Because that wasn't established. So it's like, Anyway, it's really uncomfortable. Can I just say? It's really uncomfortable. So, the Cruella's just there going, I'm just so comically villain! This is not a character. This is a stereotype. This is just a trope. It's, get Anita onto it. Go on, Anita. Go. Oh, no, it's a woman. Can't do that now, can you? No, she's just exhibiting her own thing. So we go, Stargirl, talking about Stargirl, nothing but Stargirl. So we then go to Courtney in her bedroom. Oh, no, it's not going to get weird. We've got the green... Hey, I'm in the way, but let me just look at this. We've got the Green Lantern battery. Alan Scott's Green Lantern battery. And she's got... is this Johnny Quick? Thunderbolt. No, this is the Thunderbolt. Anyway, she's got the Thunderbolt pen... and then she's got, you know, all the other costumes that she stole at the end of the last episode. Trey Romano. This is, hey, as the man, he's coming up soon to do a, as the man, in a minute as well. So she's kind of going through them all and I don't know, she's kind of like cataloguing it or trying to see how the powers work, but nothing's kind of happening. And then she dumps the pen in her pen holder. I'm sure that'll be fine. The brother's going to come in at some point. He doesn't in this episode. But the brother's going to come in at some point to borrow a pen. And he's going to take that. And then he's going to become Thunder Twat. So he's just thinking, hey, Mamma Mia! I've coming down for some breakfast and where's my Pop-Tarts? When I was on the circuit with old Blue Eyes himself, we'd have the Pop-Tarts delivered to us on the naked breasts of the ladies and they'd be like, take my Pop-Tart. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? I don't... Mental! So, Pat's just like, hey, brekkie time. And I think this is the only scene. Hey, Amy, I'm going to do you a favour. I'm going to bring Amy into the shot because I think this is the only time. Yes, I'm still holding the microphone. Yes, this is the only time she appears in the whole episode. I can't remember appearing any other time. Scotty's like, I'm not going to eat because I'm going to eat somewhere else. And he's just like, hey! I want my Pop-Tarts, so crazy, and like they actually have. I know maybe I'm fixating on the small things here, people, but they've actually got a box of Pop-Tarts, right? What's he doing? They're advertising Pop-Tarts by slagging them off, saying, oh, they're just sugary trash. You got a box of fucking Pop-Tarts. Is that? I don't know. Anywho, it's breakfast and everything is boring. So Pat's just like, hey, I'm sorry about, you know, your friend at school. And she's just like, oh, no, don't worry about that. He wasn't my friend. He died before we could be friends. See ya, Pat. So I'm like, oh, great. Well, all that crying last week, were they crocodile tears? Were you not sad that he died? Were you sad that you didn't win? So it kind of infuriated. These are little things which just kind of infuriated me throughout the episode. There's plenty more. Ugh, Greg, off Belanti. So, she gets herself a yearbook, and she's looking in the yearbook for people to recruit. Yes, I dropped the microphone. This is her recruitment drive. This is how she wants to recruit people to her new JSA. Picking up the yearbook and going, ooh, that person's can do that. Anyway, silly. So, Yolanda is at her desk. The slot and the flowers have all gone, by the way. Nice continuity. The flowers are gone. Why? Why have the flowers gone? Okay, thank you for answering that, considering this is the very next day. So she's like, oh my god, she's in this book and she can box. She must immediately become Wildcat, who was a boxer called Ted Grant. Right. Yeah, Courtney is getting really fucking annoying. Which is sad because, you know, there's a reason why Jeff Johns is doing this, and it's very heartbreaking, and I don't really want to have too many digs at this character, but it's really shit. Okay. So, Pat, and this is a good setup. I like it when you set up and have an interesting story. Pat is at this junkyard. He's looking for pieces for his robot-mobile, because he's a tinkerer and he's building these special super-duper things. So he talks to the guy and you establish there's a relationship between him and the guy. It's a little part, but it's an important part, which will come back later. So he drives back to his workshop, and lo and behold, guess who turns up? Or guess who's there, I should say. It's Patricia, the wife of the magician and the boy that died last week, whose name I can't remember. But I'm doing pretty good on names this week. Pat, that's Luke Wilson. Yay! Amy Smart. Yay! Okay, let's move on before I start forgetting names again. So he's just like, hey, how's things going? And I'm kind of hoping that something's going to develop here, because like I said, I think there could be something that might develop between Amy Smart and Icicle. I'm just wondering if they were setting up her to potentially, maybe, I don't know. But Amy Smart's Courtney's mum. But if they established that it was actually Pat that's her biological father, it would still... Anyway, she's... sorry, I'm trying to think of probably better storylines. Anywho, she's like, I'm leaving town. I'm just absolutely broken. The actress is really good. Well, the both are. I was completely clued in. There were so many times during this episode when Courtney and her friend were on the screen, I zoned out. So I might have missed a few things. So I was just zoned out. But when these two on the screen, their presence was so good, and the acting was actually excellent, that I was completely focused. And she's just like, you know, I got to get out of this place. And my truck's a little bit busted. So he's like, okay. And then he says, look, I'm really sorry about what happened to your husband, what happened to your son. And she's just like, she can't handle it. I've got to go for a walk. And he's like, okay. And he's like very kind of like sad for what's happened. And this, again, is a good bit of setup for later on. So Icicle comes down into the headquarters of the Justice Society. This actor looks great. Look at him. Look this suit, just absolutely perfect on him. Haircut, brilliant. He's got this real stern, kind of in control, cool Icicle exterior. This casting of this guy is just absolutely perfect. So there's a guy called Dr. Eno, maybe. And he's got a cool aesthetic to him. I liked it. And then when you see him closer up, you could see that he's like a lizard. He's kind of reptilian, maybe even dragon. And he doesn't blink. Vertically to horizontal, whatever. He blinks sideways, like lizards do and stuff. So he's just like, I'm totally loyal to you. I would never let you down. I won't betray you like one of the other members did. I am here for the long haul. And he's like, cool, I want you to build that machine. And he's like, oh, I'll build that machine for you. I'll do it right now. So we get lots of nice little shots of his... And I love his mask. It's just like a cowl on his face. It's very simple, but at the same time, I think it's very effective. It looks really good. And it's kind of very indicative of the Justice Society and Injustice Society from way back when. You know, when they were first kicking around in the 40s and stuff. And he says also, oh, by the way, can I have the body of the magician? And Urskull's just like, yeah, if you want. Okay. Maybe Solomon Grundy might prove to be one of his experiments. I don't know. I don't know. So Courtney's at school. God, I know I've been waffling on a bit. 20 minutes in and we're like a third of the way through the episode, but so much that I needed to get off my chest. And Yolanda is punching a bag because she's a boxer like Ted Grant. And she's just like, hey, I need to be your friend. And she's like, I don't want to be your friend. And she's just like, I need you to help me. The world's a weird place. And she's like, bitch, I don't give a shit. I don't want to be your friend. And she's like, please, 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 please be my friend. Here, come round to my house for tea. I need your help saving the planet from naughty people. And she's like, I'm not making any promises. So she goes home. So this is the first time that we've seen Yolanda in her home life since the opening montage where everything is perfect. And she's like, hey to her brother, and her brother's like, hey. So they've still got a good, you know, there's still a really good relationship there. But her grandma just like barely looks at her, looks up, looks back down again. Her mum's just like, go to your room. Tea will be when it's ready and I shall call you down. So it's established that ever since the event, that she's been grounded ever since. And she's like, hey, Mum, about tea, my friend wants me to go around for dinner at their house tonight. And her mum's like, no, you're grounded. You're just constantly grounded now. So just seeing if the microphone is still working. So you can't do that. And she's like, that's a pisser. So Courtney waits and she doesn't turn up. So Courtney stalks her at school and we have the exact same scene that we had just a few moments ago. Joy! And she's like, hey, look, I'm a superhero and I want you to be a superhero. Please be a superhero with me. And I know what happened to you. And this actress is a good actress. You know, I actually felt more empathy towards this character than I do Courtney. Maybe it's the way that her character has got a bit more of a damaging arc to it. Courtney hasn't really come across any struggle so far. None. And after last week, I'm sort of questioning whether or not she was upset that the person died, or she's upset that she didn't win the daisies because of it. And she talks about how her life's just like screwed now because of it, but she turns up to school and she does what she needs to do. And it's kind of like a little bit heartbreaking. And you're just like, oh, I wanted to give her some ice cream. So she's just like, hey, I'm going to give you a really shit costume. How's that going to be? So anywho, Pat is working on Thingamajiggy. Patricia turns up and she's just like, hey, I'm leaving town. Maybe she wasn't leaving town before, but now she's leaving town. I can't deal with all of this. And Pat's like, okay. And then she's like, hey, Pat, be careful. This town isn't what it seems. There's stuff going on. I've got all my son's belongings in this one little box. He just wanted to be like his dad, and it's got like a load of magician stuff in. So he's kind of like, but your dad's the councilman. So, you know, it's not going to take Pat too long to work out that he was a magician. So, this is where common sense starts falling apart. I'm going to take a sip. We have just established that Yolanda is grounded. Constantly grounded. It looks like she can only go to school, come home, go to her room, and she'll be called down to eat and then go back to her room to do homework, etc. No, she's at Courtney's house. After school, you can see here by the window, it's dark. She's just at Courtney's house. So the whole grounding business meant nothing. Now you could say she snuck out. There's been no established, again, it's not been established that she's been playing truant. It actually seems like she's adhering to exactly what her parents want, particularly at the end of the episode, which we'll get to later. So, great. You just completely 180'd yourself. Well done. So she's trying to go and explain the cosmic staff business. Not very well. And Courtney comes across as a dipshit. I don't want to say that, but she does. She comes across as somebody who hasn't got a clue what she's going on about. Actually gets called out on it later, but there doesn't seem to be any repercussions for her stupidity and actions. So she talks about stuff. This is kind of where I zone out a little bit. And then she's like, hey, I got your costume. And she's wearing the costume. And she's just like, look, I look like a dickhead. And she's like, oh, and it smells bad. Well, yes, Ted Grant probably pissed in it when he died and shat in it when he died. And she says, hey, put on this really, 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 really terrible mask. And when she does, the suit automatically conforms to her shape. That's stupid. But never mind. So she's got this terrible mask on, which is really embarrassing. And the costume isn't much better either. And with Courtney and her outfit like this, you're just kind of like, they're off to a fancy dress party. It just looks like they're off to a fancy dress party. They don't look like superheroes. They just look like girls playing dress up. So, I don't want to be too cruel. So they go on to Wikipedia. Wikipedia. To find out what Ted Grant's powers were. Wildcat's powers were. How would Wikipedia know? These were superheroes that worked in the dark. So it doesn't make sense. And what is, here we go, another commonsensical element. They just choose to believe it. So outside, they're saying, oh yes, it says that he'll always land on his feet. So, and he's really agile. So she just like immediately jumps up onto the fence, walks the fence, and then does it like a flip and then lands on her feet. And I'm just like, miss, I've got a question. Miss? Hi, miss. I've got a question. Does that mean that Ted Grant had no powers? Because the suit is everything. It's the suit that's making her do this. It's the suit that's giving her the agility. It's the suit that's allowing her to fall on her feet. Why have a... It's the person that makes the hero, not the suit. It's not the bat suit that makes Batman, it's Bruce Wayne. It's not the Superman suit that makes Superman, it's Clark Kent, Kal-El. Taking another sip. So this is just like, you've got a costume, this costume will give you everything. You don't have to have an arc. You don't have to have an arc anymore. Whatsoever. Ridiculous! So she's just like, God, Jesus Christ, my helmet looks like dicks. And she's like, yep. So they say, hey, why don't you throw yourself off a 5-story building? And I was just like, I'm 3 seconds away from turning this shit off now. Thankfully, she stops herself and throwing herself off a roof. But it's just like, how have these people just suddenly turned into retards? They have. They're absolutely stupid. They are the true definition of the word, mentally deficient. hi, here's a costume, throw yourself off a 5-story building. I'd be like, tell you what, fuck off. It's Wikipedia. Oh, Jesus. So anyway, oh yeah. She has metal claws and uses the metal claws to test it. She tests it out on the toaster. Toaster. Why didn't you go outside, find some useless pipes, find something, some trash, a trash can or something? Why did you use the bloody toaster in your own house? So fucking dickwad comes down. Hey, I wanted some more potato. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, hey, this is a toaster. It's not working. What's going on? So he pulls it out, sees the on it, and goes, Dad. And you're like, oh. So Pat's going to see the toaster, be like, damn it, that's Wildcat's claws. Courtney's dicking around with the stuff. Right, let's follow Courtney. No. No. Never mentioned again in the episode. And we see Pat later on do something else. Never mentioned again. Another commonsensical aspect. And I am beginning to lose my rag now. Because the common sense has fallen off the table. And we haven't even come to the most stupid part of the whole thing. Actually, there's 2 unbelievable stupid things coming up. Jesus Christ. So, they want to go and find out who's been visiting Brainwave. Just go to the hospital and visit Brainwave and then sign in and look. But they want to do it the superhero way. So Courtney's like, I can fly, so fuck you. Use your claws and climb 7 stories on the outside of the building. Girl who's just had the suit for 5 minutes. What in the blue blazes is going on here? So she jumps up and she is like, ah! And then she climbs. She's like, you can tell that this is cardboard. You can tell that this brick wall's cardboard and she's actually vertical. Horizontal, I should say. That's vertical. She's horizontal. She's doing a Batman 66 here. You know, she's doing a Batman 66 where they're climbing up the wall. That's what she's doing here. It's embarrassing, to say the least. She then nearly falls because a brick comes loose. And she's ruined the side of the hospital with her claws and scraping. But the security guard, instead of looking up, gets distracted by from the table from school, who's like, ow, I go to hospital every day to bring my mum the food, but today I brought her a different meal. Why is she not in care? Why is this girl not in care? I don't know. So she climbs up into the hospital. A nurse walks in. She like hides behind the door. It's fine. Courtney, oh my god. This is the stupidest thing in the world. Courtney is just like, right, I'm going to cut the power to the whole of the hospital. Now, 2 people tried to stop her. Two elements try and stop her. Number 1, the cosmic staff. Like, no, I'm not going to let you do that. And Wildcat's just like, why would you turn the power off to a hospital when there are people on life support? How can you be so stupid? Even at 15, you're not that stupid. You know that hospitals are very delicate places. Cutting the power to the hospital would kill a bunch of people. Yeah, that's the look in your face. Yeah, that's the look in your face when you realise you got the IQ of a fucking gnat. Oh, so there's one of the massively stupid things. So the cosmic staff trashes the janitor's office, and it looks, she's just like, oh my god, the janitor's like messy. Oh god, so we go to, you know, to special needs child. And she's like, oh, Mum, I love coming to have meals with you at hospital. You're my best friend. And the mum's like, no, I'm not. I'm not. Your dad and I are not your best friends. And she's like, Black Lives Matter? And the mum's like, fuck out of here. So, Wildcat sneaks into Brainwave's room, and guess who's there? It's ex-boyfriend. And so what does she decide to do? She decides that she's going to kill him. What is going on in this episode now? Yeah, I get that your tit pic got out, and I'm sorry for that. That was a personal thing between you two. But it didn't look like he did it maliciously. He was stupid and reckless, yeah, but it didn't look like he did it maliciously. And you want to kill him. Taking a sip. This show is falling off the rails really quickly. But he says out of nowhere, Daddy, I love you. And she's just like, okay, I won't kill him because he said he loves his dad. And then she hits something and he turns around, but she's jumped up on the roof. Because nobody in the world of television has peripheral vision. So Courtney's just like flying up like Mary frickin' Poppins. And then the principal of the school, I think, comes in to Brainwave's room and plays a violin song. I think it's probably going to have something to do with it stimulating his brainwaves, maybe to get things, you know, to bring him out of his coma. But it doesn't work at the moment. So we'll no doubt see her try different things. God. And then they're just like, hey, let's go back home. So grounded Yolanda, who's just not grounded anymore because we've off. It's just like, hey, do you know something? I don't want to be Wildcat anymore. She's like, bitch, what? She's like, yeah, I don't want to be Wildcat anymore. I need to take responsibility in my life. See ya! Bye! So she goes home and she's like, please, sit down. I've got something to say to you all. And they sit down and they turn off the TV. And she's just like, I messed up. I messed up. And I'm sorry that I brought shame upon the family. But I think after these months have passed, I've been punished enough. I think I'm done with saying sorry, and I think it's time that we move on as a family. And you think, okay, good. You know, she's at least through this episode, she's discovered to stand up for herself again. She's got that confidence back in herself to believe in herself and appreciate that something bad happened, but we have to move on. And her parents go, no, shut the fuck up, go to your room. And she's like, God damn it! So she goes to her room, and Courtney has left this horrible Wildcat costume on the windowsill. And she's like, okay, I'll be a Wildcat because, you know, my parents hate me. And she's like, coolsies! So, this was the really good ending. Everything to do with Luke Wilson in this show is great. Luke Wilson is an equivalent. Well, Luke Wilson and the villains are the best thing about this show by a country mile. Sadly, the things that are wrong with the show are the heroes, and that's bad. But Luke Wilson goes to the scrapyard again, and you can guess what's going to come, but it's still good, because he wants some more stuff. And he's like, I need a scabopulator. And the guy is, are you building a time machine? What are you building? Killer robots? And he's like, ha 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 ha. Maybe. So he goes, anyway, the part they're looking for down there with the caddies on the left or something. So he goes down to have a look at the stuff. And then he notices the magician's cat that was in the car when Patricia wanted to leave town. And he's like, wait a minute, this is the kitty cat. And then he discovers Patricia's automobile. And it's all smashed up and destroyed. And it's still got the wicker basket, whatever, the plastic bag, whatever, that had, there's the cat. And there's the bit from the cat cage. And you see the magician's hat from the sun in the car as well. It looks like Patricia has been trying to leave town. And does that mean the guy in the scrapyard is in on it? Or was he just given a job to pick up a wrecked car? And that is where it ended. And it's a good cliffhanging end. So yes, everything to do with Luke Wilson, everything to do with the villains so far in this show is absolutely excellent. It's excellent stuff. Courtney is becoming worse and worse every episode. She doesn't have any common sense. She doesn't think that anything she's doing is wrong. She has no idea who to trust and why she's trusting them, but she does it anyway, which is reckless and stupid. For all you knew, Yolanda could have just been a horrible person. A horrible person. And she could have just been like, oh, hey, okay, I'm going to tell everyone that you're Stargirl. So there's a distinct lack of common sense in this show. The only way to correct this, or, I mean, when I say correct this, it could be part of the plot. If all of this is in service of Courtney being massively humbled at some point, it's going to work. If all of this is in service of Courtney taking, again, another tremendous loss that she messed up, then that's fine. But I got a feeling it's not. I got a feeling it's not. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell. Follow me on the socials. Follow me on Instagram, Heel_vs_Babyface. You got the cutest little baby face. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.